Nothing to it.
Welcome back to another episode of Nothing to It. I'm your host, the Tulip Guy, and today we're going to be building a child's desk. This desk in particular is called a Kids Study Desk and Chair by Boost Industries. I highly recommend this desk. My kid loves it. It's got all kinds of ergonomic features such as desk tilting, chair height, desk height. You're going to love this. We're going to get into that, but first I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks that I learned from making my first desk. Alright, as you can see on the table behind me, I've already pulled out all the pieces to this desk. Couple things I want to let you know about right off the hop. Try to make sure you recognize what size these are. I know it looks obvious when you see them side by side, but it is so easy to take these two and put them on the wrong support structure. I did that the first time through, even with looking at the instructions. Mistake number 2, the hardware package. As you can see, all these packets are individually labeled. So the best thing you can do for this is to keep it all together. I know I'm famous for taking it out, cutting it open, dumping it all over the place, and not being able to identify them anymore. So a simple trick for things like long bolts, just cut a little slip in the top so you can get at the longer ones easy enough. You can slide them out. And for other smaller items, such as your washers, I cut a little V right there. That way I can just slide these little pieces up to the top, grab one, pop it out as I need it. Then you have it all in one place. You can lay it down beside you where you're working, and all the pieces aren't going to be falling on the floor and getting lost. Mistake number 3, not reading the instructions correctly. I've been at fault for this with making that last desk. It's so easy to mix up these feet with the wrong uprights, with the wrong bolts. You don't want to do that. It takes twice as long, so just take a little extra care and precaution when trying to read your instructions. With all that being said, I'm just going to dive right into this and start building. It only requires an Allen key and a screwdriver to build. I'm going to stop in between just to give some tips and tricks on some trouble areas. For the most part, this video is going to be a speed montage, but at the end I'm going to demonstrate how the ergonomic features work, and we're going to get right at it. All right, a couple things I want you to see with this chair. Underneath this cross beam, you're going to want to put this in to the sides before you actually tighten down these chair support pieces. Otherwise you won't be able to get this rod in there. Also, these screws here, they have little plastic washers on them. You don't want to over tight those either because you don't want to crack your washers. And right here underneath these screws, there's 4 of them, 2 on each side. they actually anchor the plastic base to the bars. You don't want to over tighten those because you'll only strip the plastic. Another thing you want to keep in mind of with these sliders is that you want to make sure that this part extends forward out of the desk. Otherwise, if you accidentally put it on backwards, you'll have your desk tray, which is this, trying to slide out the back of the desk when you want it to come forward to you as if you're sitting at the desk. One thing you'll want to keep in mind when assembling the desktop, this drawer, this is the spot where that screw goes in to attach the tray to the sliders. This little screw, sometimes you can drop that and it's hard to get in there. You can see my fingers already having a hard time staying in there. It's just a really small, awkward spot. Make sure you take your time doing this. For this part here, you'll notice that the feet on one side of the upright is longer than the other. You're going to want this longer part on the front of the desk where the drawer pulls out. And there you have it, your child's ergonomic desk. Just a little side note about another ergonomic feature to this desk. I'd like to point out that they actually give you a proper Allen key, not one of those little short puny ones that is hard to use and get into all these places. It's got the little round hex at the top. It's got enough length for leverage to use. It's actually pretty good to use on this project. Keep that somewhere safe along with the instructions. Alright, so now I'm going to show you the ergonomic features of this desk. It's great. You're going to love this. It's so easy and simple to use. The chair we'll start with, it has several height adjustments. When you need to reset it, just simply push it all the way up to reset it back down, but you can go incrementally as you need. The desk also does the same thing. The tray comes out for storage for your kids' equipment. It's got a couple of knobs on each side. Tilt the desk up to any angle. Whether your kids reading, writing, drawing, they have all these features accessible to them. It's great. Go back down flat. no problem. And even has a little hook on the edge to hang their backpack. It's a lot more easier to use when it's on the floor, because what you do on these brackets in between on the chairs and the desk, you can brace your foot here in order to raise and lower on both items.